Freaks and geeks, drinkers, thinkers, ramblers and gamblers, stoners and pet owners. Gather around. This is the Outsiders Social Club, where us misfits, miscreants, outcasts get together and ramble, palaver, prattle, and get royally intoxicated while we do so. So without further ado, let's proceed.
One for the party, baby. Pop on the road, drumming, knock back a drink. There's nobody home.
Hello and welcome to the Outsiders Social Club. I'm your master of ceremonies, Drinks with Ron, and I am wiped from dance competition. So with that, I'm going to throw it over to our substitute for the godfather of drinks. Is the step cousin of beverages or something? Roy? Roy, is that what's happening?
Roy is the step cousin of beverages.
I did have that right.
And he is here to say hello. On that note,
Hello.
I'm going to set some over and unders for the night.
Let's do it.
So, drinks. Drinks, you might ask. What are we drinking? Drink of the night is a nice mixture of lemon lime electrolytes, bourbon, cocaine, and ketamine. Yes, we call it the Dr. McGillicuddy. Yes, I'm having a great time here. We're getting a little tipsy, okay? We're setting the over-under for 3.5 drinks this evening, and that is 8 ounces drinks, 8-ounce beverages, okay? Or 12 cans.
12 cans or 12-ounce cans? What are we doing here?
Checks out.
12 cans is the over. If you hit it, you win a golden prize. You win a golden goose. I'm sending
A
it
golden
to your
dumpster?
house. Leave your address in the description of the episode on the review when you review us. Bong rips.
Hash clearly has no idea how many ounces are in a beer, by the way.
Over and under of bong rips. We are at 5.5 collective bong rips smoked.
Collective?
Collective.
No problem.
Collective bong rips smoked. You can go
I was
ahead.
a little worried that I just indulged in the pregame. I thought, fuck. But
Well,
as a team...
We're trying to not rip your cornea and make you smoke too much. So, we're keeping it even, okay? We're
Fair.
on the keel. And just want you to know that the step cousin of beverages is very aware of the mute button. So keep it.
You've been muted! Just a refresher.
That
I got
being
that in the
said-
back pocket.
Back to you, Rano.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to set my over-under at this glass of liquor. That looks like about 3.5 shots. So I think if I drink that, I'll call it a win. But yeah, we're in the madness. Yeah, brother. The March Madness. Super. Resident gambler, Joe Vegas. What do you got in the chamber for all of the NCAA shenanigans?
What a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we just had when it comes to college basketball. Just as everyone predicted, the Final Four is San Diego State versus FAU and Miami versus UConn. I'm going to venture a guess and say that not one single person on this earth has that Final Four, and under 10 even have 2 of that 4. That's my gambling guess there.
I second that.
If I would have realized they were the Aztecs, I would have been all in. Little
It's not 2012,
Quetzalcoatl
though.
action.
I mean, if it was 2012, money is down.
I think the only fair way to do this is we had 4 games Thursday, we had 4 games Friday. We'll briefly recap 2 games Saturday, 2 games Sunday. We'll briefly talk about all of them and move on with our lives. Does anyone have any objections or anything they would like to add before I get to the Thursday games?
I object.
Objection!
Well, good thing you have the mute button then.
Overruled!
Okay, we will start with, of course, Michigan State versus Kansas State, overtime, and I believe the only game thus far that has gone to overtime.
That was a good game.
Great game.
That was a good game.
Kansas State prevailed. Marquise Knoll is my absolute hero. He's amazing. 20 points, 19 assists, incredible. I'll get to later how we were cheated out of seeing him in the Final Four. Kansas State prevailed. We had Arkansas, who basically did not show up. They were in Las Vegas. They must have partied the night before. Got the shit kicked out of them. 88-65 to UConn. Florida Atlantic defying all of the odds again, even while being down to Tennessee, 62-55. in probably the most boring game of the entire weekend. And then we had game of the night, Gonzaga UCLA. UCLA up 13 at half, but it's as if Yikes willed them to turn it around and come back, and they did. Then they blew it. Then they blew it, but then they hit the three to beat UCLA, who has had 3 really, really tough exits the last 3 seasons in the NCAA tournament. Your thoughts on these 4 games, boys?
I gotta say, UCLA Compton might be in UCLA, but UCLA is not in Spokompton.
Hit it, hit the loser.
Yeah.
Well done, Hash. Who's got something more?
I think
yeah.
I think I can only really comment, like, I was kind of in between things for the, I mean, I listened on the, it's so funny listening to a game on the radio. And by the way, somebody look this up. Hash, you're good at this.
What's up?
Who is the Westward One voice for NCAA, like, men's college tournament? This dude cannot be for real. He's been on for years. I heard it in the car. It's a fucking surreal voice. It's not Kevin Harlan, is it? It's not Kevin Harlan. This guy sounds, I don't know how to explain this guy's voice, and we have to find
Cohen.
I think it's Gary Cohen. This dude's voice, wow. Anyway,
like a buttered
I caught
up
the end
angel.
of that Kansas State game. Like, that was the beginning, and Justin and I chatted about this, and like I think, you know, obviously Goods has mentioned it a lot, but like Marquise Newell was the guy of the tournament. It's really sad that he's out. But I don't think I've enjoyed watching somebody play like that in a very long time. Like, again, to recap, I'm 5'7". Like, that guy's out there just doing things. And also that video in which he throws the alley-oop, like, while talking to his coach. Amazing. And then they also reveal later that he's telling Isaiah Thomas, like, watch what I'm about to do. Has anybody seen that part of the video?
I did not see that part. That sounds amazing, though.
Yeah, he gets the ball, tells Isaiah, watch this, and then goes on and does that. So,
10 points,
please.
10 rebounds for Sonogo.
No,
That's not it?
No, I'll find it.
All right.
He doesn't do play-by-play.
Oh, he doesn't do it.
He does the lead. Here comes the
Westwood One Radio Network.
Wait, is it a guy with a really deep voice?
Oh, yeah. Who is that dude?
I feel like
the guy that does their imaging.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about with that voice. Westwood. I can't even get down there with a throat full of shit.
So low, it doesn't even seem like.
Yeah, it's got to be slowed down or something.
David Lee is what it's saying. The imaging voice for the NFL, NCAA, football, and basketball for Westwood One Sports, MLB's Best on Fox Sports 1, etc., and many radio stations worldwide. David Lee.
It's just buttery, syrupy.
Yeah. Apparently, David Lee Imaging, he's on LinkedIn.
Okay. Damn.
Get him
we should crowdsource that. Get him to read that long, stupid intro I got.
I don't want him on the fucking pod. I want to hear his voice on the pod.
That's what I'm saying. We get him to do the intro.
We have to get him on the pod to get his voice in the pod.
No, we just pay for
play
it.
A clip. I don't want him actually on the pod.
No, we'll just pay him to read the intro.
I'm calling it.
He can improve on me.
I'm calling it. It's bullcrap. It's altered. He doesn't have that kind of voice. He just altered.
Wow.
That's why we need to have proof in the pudding there, right there, and get him on. He can't be behind no filter.
Yeah.
All right. That's true. Good point.
Some of it can be microphone positioning too. When you get right in there, it sounds.
But yikes! To your point about Newell being one of the best players we've seen and most fun we've seen, it reminded me a lot of Cardiac Kemba Walker's run.
There are several players from New York City that tend to capture the tournament. Kemba's one.
Kemba was 08.
Carmelo Anthony.
08, yeah, okay.
Carmelo Anthony, New York City, played for Syracuse, captured the imagination of all of us. I still love Carmelo to this day.
Who was the other guy on that team? The white kid.
Jerry McNamara?
Yes, McNamara, yes.
What happened to him?
I mean, nothing.
Talk about a white guy name if there isn't. Jerry
McNamara has ridden
to capture our imaginations.
He has ridden being a Syracuse basketball player further than anyone who's never done anything since. Like, seriously. Okay.
Sorry.
Catching a stray. That was brutal.
What happened?
Sorry, Jerry.
No, Jerry did not catch a stray, okay? Jerry still has probably never paid for a beer in his entire life. Maybe a meal either. Probably gets paid by the school just to be the guy that everyone remembers from whatever year.
Jerry, I'm giving it to you again.
Also spells his name with a G. Get the fuck out of here.
2 observations from the Gonzaga-UCLA game. Maybe more than 2, maybe 3. 1, super emotional game in terms of their ability to come back from 13 at half, which I didn't think could possibly happen. Like, honestly, at half, I was like, this is fucking over. So there's that.
Yeah.
There is the fact that Stan Van Gundy in the last like 5-6 minutes of that game must have said, this game is not over at least 100 fucking times. Like,
well, to be fair, it wasn't over. There was plenty of time left.
It's not like my sister like listens to Levitard at all, and she's like, what the fuck is this guy doing? He keeps saying like there's more time left. There's 3.5 minutes left. He did it all the way down to about the 20-second mark.
He was right, though, right? Yeah. He was correct.
Oh, he wasn't over. Correct. That is the most Stugatzian or whatever safe-like take of all time. Yeah. There's more time left.
Hey, this one ain't over yet.
6 minutes left in.
Yeah,
I mean, look, chips are plain Lays. I mean, he's a safe man.
That does square. That is true.
I never found out if that's what if he got a Diet Coke and plain chips before bed and was in bed by midnight. I was hoping he'd reply to that one because he
was already in bed.
He probably has to be the lamest person to ever come to Vegas.
I
don't know.
All right. I think I'll end it there. That was a very good win, and I had one more, but we'll let it go.
Some semi-light breaking news on Jerry McNamara. He was named associate head coach last week of Syracuse.
Oh, shit.
Getting paid for being Jerry McNamara.
The Orangeman.
I'm calling that a victory. Jerry, well done, my man.
Is the Syracuse just the orange? Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, they're not the Orangemen anymore. It's just the orange.
That's weird.
Why?
What was the justification for having them as the Orangemen?
Orangemen were offended or what?
Right. Yeah,
Trump
they're a strong lobby. Yeah.
Oh, they wanted to distance themselves from Trump. I don't blame them.
That was pre-Trump, but move on.
So get a chance to talk Gonzaga again. To tighten it up here, Gonzaga advanced, UConn advanced, Kansas State advanced, Florida Atlantic advanced. On to Friday games. We had San Diego State upsetting number 1 overall seed Alabama. And if you guys recall, I told you that line was wrong. It was the same line as the one against Maryland. I told you to take the points with San Diego State. I don't know if I was courageous enough to say take the money line, but I'll just say that I was for the sake of fun. And then next game was Miami upsetting Houston. Now, I will admit I said Houston was going to eat everyone's face on their way to the title, and they completely gave up and quit the second half against Miami.
Yeah, what happened there?
You don't eat face for so long before it's just like, let's fold this up and go home.
Princeton fought valiantly but fell to Creighton in what was, I found to be an entertaining game. Got to give it to Princeton for a deep run that they made. And then Texas was down over Xavier.
Indubitably.
So we had a 5/1, a 5/1, a 2/3, and a 6/15.
Fuck.
I didn't see as much drama this Friday night, but what are your thoughts, boys?
I had Miami going down in the first fucking round. And actually, after I listened to the pod and listened to you guys, I wanted to switch it. But I was like, well, I said, it was written right on my paper plate, so I can't go back now. So I left it, even though I had a strong urge to change that.
Well, Ron, don't give away the goods, but in your defense, they were losing for 38.5 minutes that first game.
How many?
Picked the wrong 5.
Is it 40-minute game?
That's why they play 40 minutes, Hash. That's why.
It was not over yet.
I was asking. I was like, I don't even know.
I don't either.
It's a 40-minute game.
20-minute quarters, halves.
It's really
like
good that we
basketball
do.
better.
It's good that we do. Did you watch any of the games?
The women's
You're
games?
asking, you're asking if they're recorded.
No.
No, I watched the women's games. I mean,
Oh, this goddamn bourbon was a bad idea.
what kind of bourbon is it, Ron?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. This is actually a Wollersheim distillery. It's a 2-mile Wisconsin straight bourbon whiskey, which, as I asked on the show prior, how can something not made in Kentucky be called bourbon? And the godfather of drinks, Troy, pointed out that they call it bourbon whiskey, which is, you tack that on. But it is, I guess, a 4-year. It's a 4-year. So I've been waiting for Wisconsin to make a good aged bourbon, and I enjoyed it the last time I had it. I'm guessing I just probably should not be drinking tonight because holy balls, it made my tongue taste like sandalwood or something. This ain't positive. But
Okay,
here we go.
Ron, thank you for that. That was wonderful. Okay, the floor is back to yikes, and yikes, tighten it up, damn it. We're going too long.
I love how it's Yikes.
Do I got to bring the
Yikes
timers into this?
Yikes is the tightest of the dancers in this masquerade.
Timmy time.
What are we talking about?
I don't know.
He wanted
You're
to
asking-
Timmy takes. Tim
I
Tom.
just want to hit a button and play a sound. I don't know what you guys do, but I'm going to play something.
Tim Ebo.
Power through,
Understand
yikes.
how like
power
we're
through.
not even like we haven't even eliminated Gonzaga yet, and we're into Timmy time.
Power through.
What are we?
Well, we've
what the
been
fuck
in
are we
Timmy
doing?
time.
I think you brought us into Timmy time with the tweet.
This is totally Timmy time.
The guy said that Timmy's a chalker. Go.
Okay,
So
go
Timmy
ahead.
time's over?
All right, hit me.
That was all of Timmy time. Thank you.
All right, you want to talk about chalkers?
Yeah. Chuck it
All
up.
right. Talk about Alabama's Brandon Williams.
Chalking.
3 of 13 yesterday. Chalk it up.
By the way, Timmy had 36 and 13, one of the greatest college games ever played.
Yeah, anyone
Definitely
that's like,
did not
he's the worst
chalk.
Player. It's like what was happening.
Thank you, Goods. That's my
Well
point.
done. Well done.
Back to good.
Nice and tight.
All right.
I mean,
the
it's not
time
fair
frame.
when you're also 36 years
That's a
old
win.
playing against 18-year-olds.
I
It
mean,
helps. It really helps.
COVID gave you an extra few years of playing. You can't blame the guy.
I did like the tweet where it's saying he was coming back for his 8th year.
I'm starting to believe that
A lot of
just-
people go to college for 6 years.
People just don't
They're called
like.
doctors.
He's only
They don't
22.
like white Gonzaga kids. They're sick of them.
He's only 22.
Yeah, the dude's 22, and I had a huge conversation with my aunt and my mom about this. And if we keep thinking about dudes who look like, I don't know, 20, 21, 23, as 29-year-olds, we are all fucked.
He looks like the 80s version of a 20-year-old, though.
does.
Remember,
He does. He looks
remember
like-
when you watch it, look at this.
Yeah,
Looks like
some
he could be a
full-blown
teenager in
fucking
Greece,
man.
You know what I mean,
People hate him the same. You guys have seen Moneyball, right? Because he looks funny.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't look athletic. He's just really good at basketball, but he doesn't look like he'd be really good at basketball. So, and everybody hates Gonzaga, so they were happy to see him lose. Not to jump ahead. Does anyone
It's
else
just
have
so
anything?
funny how that has happened to Gonzaga. 25 years ago, they were the lovable fucking underdog. And then they did it so many times that they became a favorite and people started resenting them. Like, what the fuck happened? I'm still with the Gonzaga love. They're a lovable goddamn underdog in my book.
You know what the problem is,
bitches.
Rano? They keep winning. They
That's what
keep
I'm
winning,
saying.
But they don't win we're into this. We all know this conversation. You got to win the final one.
They're still lovable.
We were on this podcast, and I was told we can't pronounce this name correctly until they win the national championship.
I don't know. I don't even know if I do pronounce it correctly, to tell you the truth.
It's
Come on,
Gonzaga, right?
Zag?
It's Gonzaga.
Gonzaga.
Okay.
Zag. Like the
Damn
Zag.
it. You know what?
you zig and you zag. You know what
I've
I mean?
been doing it
Smoke
right
a
this whole
zigzag.
time. Let's celebrate.
I want you to rethink that one. Are you sure it's Gonzaga and not Gonzaga?
I'm pretty much going to
Well,
put
then they'd be the Zogs.
my entire
That's-
life on the line for this one.
Like,
I don't need-
the Zogs.
I don't need a caller. I don't need anything. Like, I got this one.
All right, now is your opportunity. Give me shit. I said Houston was going to kill everybody. They lost by 14.
Oh, I mean, you had a lot of bad You had a lot of bad takes.
I mean, not if you eliminate my top 4 and bottom 4.
You said it's time to fade the fade the underdogs.
Cinderella.
Like it's
Correct.
all chalk from here.
I did say that.
Chalker.
That was the one that stuck with me when I watched FAU win. I was like, that was the word. Those are the words that rang through.
All right, let's get into it. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm going, and if anyone follows me on Twitter and still follows me on Twitter, I was very unhappy with this Florida Atlantic Kansas State result. 79-76, Florida Atlantic wins the game. We'll get to the other blowout, but I have a lot of things to say about this game. Number one, if you start off calling 2 charges on a team, you basically have it you're out to get this team. Okay? Yeah. Charge is an arbitrary call.
It's bullshit.
It's a split-second decision, and it was on their second-best player. 2 early fouls, not fair to do to a team. Something needs to be done about the charging call. Okay. In spite of that, Kansas State did what they've done all tournament. They came back, they took a lead. I will give Florida Atlantic credit. They look like they belong. They're a very good team. They're bigger than I realized. That brings me to my next point. That Russian big dude is a really, really, really bad basketball player. He just doesn't know it, and the refs don't know how to officiate it because he's so bad. He's just big. He pushes in the back. He gets the ball. He falls down. He fouls with his body. He is a terrible, terrible, terrible basketball player. And in a world where we only have guards, refs don't know how to officiate these ass clowns. Go.
I love the idea that he is terrible and doesn't know it. That is fantastic.
You don't know shit.
God damn it, Vlad.
It is 100% true. He's awful.
Learn fucking English.
Speak American. There's a dog. That's a drink.
Oh, it's a drink.
Thank you, Ted Jansen. My kid definitely won't fucking sneak in without me knowing. Anyway.
Again, we're not dealing with any top seeds. We're dealing with a mixture of like what's going on in college basketball. I don't know.
That's the thing. When you got 300-something
think
teams in Division I, you're going to have these weird mismatches. And like Good says, when it comes down to how the ref wants to call a game, if you get a weird mismatch with some Russian dude throwing elbows, hey, if they let it go, that changes everything.
Well, there also was a time where you'd look at the tournament and you'd be like, there's that one guy that's going to take you all the way through. And I honestly don't know if I could think of one dude coming into the tournament where I was like that. Even like, Newell from Kansas State captured the imagination of everyone. But was anybody calling that like 2 weeks ago? Absolutely not.
Only when I saw him play Kentucky. I didn't know who he was before that.
That's the thing. There's 300-something fucking teams in Division I. Why can't pay no attention to no college sports?
I mean, maybe Timmy. I mean, if
Timmy
this far.
Because he, like Justin said, he's been playing for 8 years. So
he is 42 years old.
Who was a guy there was a couple years ago, there was that bearded guy from one of the teams that made it. It was a lumberjack team or whatever it was called. I forgot whatever team it was. He captured America when he had that big 3 and they had the upset.
Was it like an upset team?
Yeah, they were a 15 or 14 seed. They've advanced, I think, to Sweet 16.
That might have been South Dakota State. I have to check my facts, but that sounds...
Check them, goddammit.
Definitely not South Dakota State.
No?
Any more reckless talking here? We're murdering people left and right in this goddamn podcast.
Seriously, how many...
All right, somebody research that. But it's a good segue to the other game on Saturday night, which, yikes, I hate to say it, from a betting perspective, I called this one. I was all over UConn. UConn 82-54 over Gonzaga. Gonzaga just got the shit beat out of them.
UConn do it.
Yep.
We're moving on to today's games. If Thursday, Friday, and Saturday taught me anything, boys, it was that I do not know what I'm talking about. So therefore, I bet both underdogs today to win, and therefore I won both of my bets because San Diego State beat Creighton, even though Creighton was generally in control most of the game. San Diego State is a very tough defensive team, though, and came back, defeated them in what was had to be one of the lower scoring second halves we've seen.
Yeah, it was bad.
Controversy at the end, okay? Because if that's a foul on that last play, then they miss a lot of fouls. I felt that was a really questionable foul call on a shot. I don't know if you guys saw it. Probably Ron didn't. Probably Hash didn't.
No.
Justin is a maybe. Yikes saw it.
I watched it.
I worked all day
what's
today.
The shade you're throwing at me. What are you?
He shot it, and he had his arm on like his side.
That was no. He pushed. He pushed his hip down.
It didn't affect his arm. Like they hit his arm.
No, you can't.
No.
You can't say that body contact doesn't throw the equilibrium off.
Well, guess
just
what?
Because he doesn't hit his arm doesn't mean that he doesn't throw his arm off.
They don't call it on that tall guy from FAU. They let him body whatever he wants.
That's the way that they police the bigs versus guards. It's a different game. That's the same thing in the NBA. Yikes, what you got?
What I'm trying to say on this one, it's really tough because I do not want to leave this podcast thinking that I'm shading Goods for this idea that there has been many bad calls. I also think that like if you watch college basketball throughout the season, this is not your best officiating people of all time. You know, like mistakes get made often. They get made during the regular season. They get made during conference tournaments. They get made all the fucking time. It goes down to what you said about big guys versus small guys. Nobody knows what a fucking charge is. Like, this is part of college basketball. So I guess what
hits a drink.
I would agree that with Hash, and I think just like, dare I pull out the card that I've played basketball, not at any high level, but if some dude's shoving me in the side during a final shot, I would want that call. Like, I think that's a foul.
You have to call it at the end. You have to call it at the end.
That is the
so the only question I would have for you guys is this. If they don't call it and the shot misses and they go to overtime, does anyone even remember really I really don't think. I think it was that close to being not a foul that, oh, wow, he's a good-looking guy. That guy? Wow.
It's so perfect.
So I just think that it was that close where they could have let it go, finished the game out, and then played the overtime. And I was on the side of San Diego State, so obviously I was a little bit happy at least. So
I wish I'd have known they were the Aztecs. With the references on this podcast, I would have put them in the Final Four.
You wish they would have bet them instead of Oral Roberts.
All right, I have to interrupt. This is a moment of SDSU winning and the Aztecs. So my aunt is here right now, and her grandchild, my cousin Ella, just got accepted to go to SDSU.
Oh.
And we were like, do you think she even, like, we all talked about it. Do you think she even knows? Like, that they're in the Final Four? Because they're, like, not a basketball family. So I was like,
no way.
Why don't you text her and see what happens?
She'd be like, what? They got a basketball team?
She texts us back, yeah, we're killing it. You know what happens on my end? What the fuck does that mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? She says they're killing it. They're killing it?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's how the kids are talking these days.
Like, they don't even know that terminology. I was like, it means they won and moved on.
They're doing well. That's the geographic vernacular of the Utes today. They say them things. These goddamn kids. iPads and their Moby Grape.
Sorry, do you have Show Killer yet?
I don't. I've got that's what sucks. I've got this is for a bad joke and a terrible joke and a good joke. So there's really no separation.
There are moments on a good podcast where you know you need the Show Killer moment, and it's just hanging out there. So anyway, good. What do you got?
All right. San Diego State moved on to the Final Four, their first Final Four, I'm pretty sure. And as much as I hate portions of them because they're UNLV's rival, I was happy they won. Second game, Miami inexplicably in the second half just erupted. won a game that they had no business winning. Texas completely blew it. You got to give it to Miami, man. These fuckers never quit. They never stopped shooting. They never stopped scoring, and now they're going to the Final Four.
Well, the game's not over.
I can't believe Miami's still here. Like, I'm literally stunned. They don't play defense, yet every time I watch them, they're like getting some kind of steal.
Just let them tire themselves out shooting at the basket.
Are you watching anime, Goods?
They'll tuck her out.
Has everyone, done their Festivus, venting about bad officiating or airing of grievances?
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
I know you guys have a lot of them. Probably not as many as me.
That brings up, we did set the over-under for mentions of the ref at 6.5 in the pregame. Didn't make it onto the audio. So just so we note, we have hit the over on mentioning of the ref. So well done, everyone. Drink up. Thank you. And
What's
proceed.
And also, I haven't checked on how our bracket's going, and I'm guessing that Yikes is still winning, but
they're final. Everyone's been eliminated. I took a screenshot. Does somebody have access to the Discord?
Did anyone win?
Troy won with 50 points. Yikes with 44. Hashy 36. And me and you, Ron, point the rear of 31 points.
I mean,
I like to do.
Pretty much on brand for
putting the booze.
I
see. I guarantee Yikes' niece beat me. I would put money on that.
You're on mute, buddy.
Yikes,
take a drink. Take a drink. You're on mute.
Oh, yeah.
Every time you talk when you're on mute, you should have to drink.
That's fair. Is that a new rule? Can we pass that without Troy? I'm sure Troy would sign
Troy
off.
will be fine with that. Who's ready to get to the Final Four?
Oh, I'm so ready. We need a timer bed for that.
I'm going to think about it all night, every night until it's here. And then I'm going to complain about it on Twitter all night, Saturday night.
All right. Well, you're getting 30 seconds on it because here we go.
At 3:09 p.m. Pacific time, Florida Atlantic takes on San Diego State. San Diego State is a 1.5-point favorite. Florida Atlantic again could prevail. Total is 131.5. I hope for nothing more than that guy for Florida Atlantic to get fouls called on him and for him to foul out with 0.0 rebounds and possibly 2 technicals. While San Diego State prevails, who's got something?
Well, fucking done, man.
I'll be
that's
damned.
A victory. There was time left on that bet. That's twice. I'm gonna drink.
What
for
the
that.
fuck are you doing, Ash?
Like a goddamn pro.
Okay. Left
partaking in the madness. Yeah.
Down with the insanity.
All right, who else has something on this game? Yikes. Come on, don't let me down, buddy.
How do you feel about the both schools being 45 minutes from each other in the final game?
Really?
It's a possibility.
I like that.
It's a possibility.
I would find that hilarious.
Boca versus Miami.
I find it ironic that
Boca versus Coral Gables.
it's more ironic that the Final Four is in Houston, Texas. We had Houston and Texas in, and we didn't get either of them.
Yeah, that's ironic.
What is happening? I don't get it. I put my money down. I thought I was going to win this year.
I tell you what, guys. Everyone is a loser except
not me.
Except for the sports books. The sports books, it's going to be announced. They are absolutely cleaning house. Do you know what the R in Rano stands for? Regular
replay
shot.
Oh.
Regular. Replay works too.
Or recap.
Or recap.
I thought it was reggae music.
We're so close to a recap, and I want to hear that fucking song.
We ready for a recap?
I got something to recap
Hold on, I got
Joe
one more-
after the recap.
I got one more damn game, you people. Hit the music. Hit
Son
the
of a
Jeopardy.
bitch. All right.
In game 2, after I've lost all my money, we have Miami facing UConn. I'll find some money to bet on this game because Miami is a team of motherfucking destiny. Okay?
Destiny's Child.
I don't know what happened to UConn. They were losing to Iona at the end of the first half. Miami should have lost to Drake and didn't. But here we are, Miami versus UConn. Mike Ryan's going to be on cocaine all week. Chris Whittingham might unquit and come back just to talk about Hurricanes basketball. UConn has been irrelevant since Shabazz Napier and Kemba Walker and Rip Hamilton and Khalid El-Amin.
Wow.
You really have to know Minnesota to know that one. I'm going with Miami. I'm going with Miami to win outright, so plus 5.5 over 149.5. You cannot bet Miami to go under the total. Let's go Canes. Let's go Aztecs. It's going to be the weirdest matchup in NCAA championship history.
Texan Canes.
Oh, heavy on the
Who do you got to win, though? Who do you got to win?
Whoa. Are we recapping next Sunday, before the big game Monday night?
We can still predict. Oh my god.
I mean, I feel like you got to do your full prediction now, and then we recap.
We did go through our whole bracket last time.
I mean, my predictions have gone incredibly well.
Well, that's why
I think we are like flotating into a point where we try to find how much we got wrong, because we got a lot wrong.
We just got to embrace.
That's life.
Yep.
Not me.
Goods. You did a top. Okay, again, 16 bracket that I'm looking at that I wrote down in pencil.
It went well, didn't it?
Yeah, it was glorious. You did very well.
You're the glorious bastard.
The funny thing is, it wasn't even good at getting to the Elite Eight.
Well, I think, okay, can I share one more thing?
Share away.
You guys do not trust me at this point. I've been I've just fucking around over here, trying to get in the podcast. But
you've been talking the whole time.
Oh, really?
But we love you.
Okay, well, great.
Even if you're only 5'7".
Oh, well, I appreciate that.
Does that qualify?
One thing that's great about me is that you will never have to build out a shower. It's very big because I fit in. So, anyway, 2011 NCAA Final Four. The seeds on average were 6.5. Okay, in terms of seeds, their top level seeding.
So much seed.
Okay, go for it.
I messed this up.
This the craziest Final Four.
Stop this. This year, okay. Rewind it.
Keep it in.
All right, this year, 6.5. If you line up all the seeds and average them out, it's 6.5. 2011, 5.5.
Oh.
Lowest seeded tournament ever, 2011.
What were the teams? Wait, can I guess? Can I guess what the teams were? That was a VCU year? Yeah, VCU.
Yes, it was. Correct.
Okay.
Wait, what's VC? Wait, for the listeners that don't know,
what is that? Virginia Commonwealth?
Not us. Me and Ash.
No. Yep.
Virginia Commonwealth.
Right. UConn. Was that UConn?
Yep.
UConn.
Shit. I know VCU did not make it to the final. Wait, was that the kid who plays for the Hornets now? Butler? Was that Butler?
It was.
Okay.
Oh, goddamn. That's amazing.
Uh-oh.
If I can name the fourth one, oh, man, there's no way.
Just leave at that point. Just leave. This will be your best moment.
Well, last time I left after Yikes said schlong. So,
no, I didn't. I said
squirting.
Yeah, it was
okay. Fourth team. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Feels like a Michigan State year.
Well, I'm sitting around here because I've had a long day and I cannot update you on the accuracy of that. But you got 3 or 4 right.
Wait, what?
I'm fucked up.
You're unclear who the fourth team was?
Who was the fourth team?
I'm looking it up.
It was a team.
They gave you a final 3 and just left the other one off? How do you even
Guess
Google
again,
that?
Fucker.
Give me 3 of the 4 for 2011, please.
Yikes is making me drink more than I want to.
I seriously need a heater so bad. I'll come back with my answer.
Oh my god, I'm not waiting.
Wait, does that mean we're hitting it?
All this dead air is
It was really Connecticut. It was Kentucky.
VCU, Kentucky, Butler, Connecticut.
That one.
It was a 5-second Google search. Yikes. Get together. You went down a whole rabbit hole for Mr. Rogers scandal. Didn't find
I just
anything.
love that he had
Couldn't
the
find
three,
a Final
though.
Four.
That was-
Listen,
So I'm surprised it was his team as high as Kentucky.
yeah,
a
like
3 seed,
okay,
4
I
seed,
have this
8 seed,
note
11
right
seed.
here, and like that 2011 tournament, I can't talk over Ron's bong ever.
Bronze bong.
It's a good bong.
Bong.
Wrong.
Can we do a Cisco like that bong ba bong bong bong?
Oh, I made one of those when I was a long time ago. Let me see that bong.
Okay, I'm really looking forward to some Michael McDowell. What? Jesus.
All right,
gonna
we're all taking a break because we're all
The recap's so
Michael
hard.
McDonald. Jesus.
Yeah, let's take a moment, and we'll be right back.
I'll recap with or without your consent. Let the decree go forth. It is time to pee.
Ashy.
Are you moving into a new place? Maybe you're looking to redecorate your old place. You got end tables on your mind? Come on down to Doug's Shitty End Tables. I hear what you're saying. You're saying Doug, but I don't want shitty end tables. I want a good end table. Well, don't come down here. We don't got those. At Doug's Shitty End Tables, we only carry the shittiest, scratched, damaged, dented, and otherwise used end tables. So, come on down here. We got all the shitty end tables for your end table needs. The Doug's.
Are we recapping it or what?
Or is it time? All right.
I think it's just about time for a recap. Looking at the opportunities that we have placed throughout the episode, it will be good to look back. So that's why this is a recap. This is a recap. This is a recap.
All right. That makes me feel like recapping so hard.
I'm capping it.
Capping it. All right. Who wants
Cola.
to catch us up here? Because I'm eating a McMuffin, so I'm indisposed.
This weekend I'm going down to California to the town of Capitola. You know what I mean?
Are you?
And get some Capicola.
Where'd you get a McMuffin at like 11 o'clock?
Jimmy
I
Dean.
bought it this morning. Yeah.
Jimmy Dean, motherfucker.
Well, it's actually cheaper. If you want to buy a hash brown, it's cheaper to add a McMuffin than to just buy a hash brown. It's
Good
like
to know, good to know.
It is. It's $2.89 for a fucking hash brown, $2.50 for a hash brown and a McMuffin.
$2.89 for a
Yeah.
half.
It's insane. It's ground up fucking potatoes. What's going on here?
It
Can
used
we
to be
just say-
$1.
Oh, go ahead.
It's
It used to
insane.
be $1.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
rest in peace to the dollar menu, dude. I miss that shit. Like,
No.
whatever happened, dude?
Well, it's
My
crazy,
food-
right? You go on their app right now. They've got a $1, $2, and $3 menu, which consists of all $3 sandwiches.
Yeah, no, they need to stop advertising it like that. Stop. You're just
Right,
fucking-
that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, oh,
fucking taunting us. Like,
been
what the stop?
deceived.
Is Vegas the only place that no longer has the McChicken, only the hot and spicy McChicken? Or is that every?
Really?
You guys
No,
have
no.
regular
They
McChickens?
took away your McChicken.
I got regular McChickens.
Wow, we only have the hot and spicy.
Well, McChicken always had a little bit of spice to it. They had a lot of pepper on it.
Should write
But
your
like,
Congress.
That's just
Congressman.
black pepper, yeah.
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 I was saying it had definitely had that zest to it from the pepper versus a regular chicken sandwich. But
Zest me.
Wendy's spice chicken combo is where it's at.
No McChicken out here.
That's
That sucks.
insane to me.
Nick fucked up.
R.I.P. to Vegas McDonald's, man.
I
R.I.P.
don't have
Nick
another
angry.
sounder for that.
All right, I feel like a couple of you had
Punch
some items for the recap.
Recap.
You.
But
Yeah,
before we get to that recap, I will just say this. The Final Four is Florida Atlantic versus San Diego State. Florida Atlantic has no business being there. They lost to Memphis if the refs had decided to call a timeout for Memphis. San Diego State is going to beat them by 1 million. Bet it all. Bet everything you have on San Diego State to win. Miami versus UConn. Miami is the worst team I've ever seen against Drake. Then reel off 3 straight impressive wins over Indiana, Houston, and Texas, which is ironic because Houston is in Texas.
It's
And
true.
they are going to beat UConn because they're a team of destiny. And fuck UConn, never been good, never had any good players, including Kemba Walker, Shabazz Napier, Rip Hamilton, and Khalid El-Amin. Go.
Right on the nose. That's impressive.
So in reality, what you should do is bet FAU UConn final. I mean,
All right.
fade me.
Well, I don't know what any of that means, but I will tell you in recap fashion that we did, in fact, crush the over on bongs.
Yes, you did.
Wasn't even close.
Oh, we crushed it.
Yeah. Well done.
took-
You
Killing
bonged it.
Pound it.
Oh, yep.
I
Fucking
hit
A,
the
man.
over on drinks also.
Oh yeah.
else?
Oh,
Yeah, you know what? I did too.
Overs.
Yeah.
This is we're getting back after all those unders. You know.
Yeah.
the other
Yikes,
day.
definitely hit the over on
I don't know. Troy was setting at way too many high overs because Troy's an alcoholic.
Well, see, I was telling Hash earlier,
functioning alcoholic.
that was
Still
kind of
alcoholic.
a moment of realization when one of those last episodes, he said it at 8.5. And I went, oh, Jesus, I can't get to 8.5. And he said, you're not required to. I just said it there. You don't have to drink that. Like, that had never occurred to me to not drink the 9 beers because you said 8.5. It was just always a challenge. Now I'm like, fuck, now it's more like a personal problem.
That guy is something, man. In person, I thought I might die every time I drank with him.
I bet.
Every time we record, could be my last moments on Earth.
So I will say that the 2011, we're talking a lot about like this is like the strangest the Final Four ever, but I don't think it is because 2011, if you combine the seeds, it's
The dog.
It's again a dog, but 2011 had a 5.5 like average seed versus this year 6.5 average seed. So this is not the strangest year we've ever seen. That year was, if we can go back to it. Well, we can. Connecticut, Butler, VCU, and I'm missing the fourth.
He's missing a different fourth this time.
Yeah, I totally.
No, he's not. He's missed the same fourth. He's missed the same fourth.
Kentucky.
Who won it?
Kentucky. They were the 4.
UConn won. UConn beat Butler, and then that was. Do you guys remember this? Butler went back-to-back years and lost to Duke and UConn.
And
I
they
don't know
almost beat Duke on that
Yep.
half-court three-point shot.
Yeah, by Gordon Hayward.
Yeah.
So may I nominate a year? Yikes!
You may.
In 2006, the Final Four was LSU, UCLA, Florida, and George Mason. George
That was a
Mason
good
has
one.
got to be one of the more bizarre Final Four
Yep.
finalists. And guess who coached them? None other than Jim Larrañaga of the Miami Hurricanes. Comes full circle. What year are we in? 17 years later, they're going to win it all.
17 years later.
That's good math, too. Fuck, man.
Well, I almost screwed it up. You saw, I didn't know.
Hey, that was quick. I'll give it to you. You could be wrong for all I know, honestly. I didn't do it.
I mean,
Oh.
well, that's a dog.
Dog. See, I
The
can't have
dogs are
Cheetos
The
and
dogs
a
are
dog.
barking. You know what that means? Bet Miami. Bet them right now.
That's what that means. It has nothing to do with the food and Ron's name.
Yeah,
Everything
this
to
little
do
dog.
with Miami.